All righty, everybody, what is going on out there today in the world of tennis? Brent Abel here, Gold Ball Hunting. That guy, again, I'm not sure if he's on my right or my left, Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Jacklich from Napa, California. Jeffrey, what's going on today?
A little, I think I could be a little under the weather today, but woke up with a little scratchy throat and all that. But, I'm not complaining because, waking up in Napa is always a beautiful thing to do. So,
yeah, right. So people will be going, oh my gosh, poor Jeff. He's in Napa.
poor Jeff,
most beautiful place in the world. He's a little sick. Oh my gosh. Did you say? I think you said the smallest little violin possible or something.
Yeah, did you hear that? Did you catch that after I said that? Yeah, that was in there. And anyway, and I want to do a quick little shout out to Mr. Roger Federer winning his 100th title over getting a little redemption and revenge against Tsitsipas.
Yeah, no, it's
a 4-4 win, and it was a good match, and. That's a major. That's huge. Anyway.
I keep waiting for that moment where all of a sudden you can see, oh, okay, Father Time has caught up. He is clearly not the same guy anymore, and it's not coming back. And it's not coming back. And he'll actually be a candidate for Gold Ball Hunting. He'll want to listen to these. Okay, I've aged up.
Yeah.
I've got to make some changes, fellas. Brent, Jeff, what should I be doing?
Exactly, because I think he is going to be playing the Cat 1 grass courts in the 40s next year.
That's right. That's right. No, it's an amazing achievement. I actually hope he.
Anyway, yeah.
I hope he gets to 110. Just because Jimbo to me, sort of the anti-Roger in terms of on-court behavior and demeanor and that kind of stuff. And look, you gotta tip your hat to Jimmy Connors for a guy was just freaking tenacious. But I still think in the end, I'd love to see Roger, and he even mentioned in his post-match speech, he's going, look, and I'm not out here to try to chase records, which I think means that he's not going to go play like the Tiburon. Well, I guess that would be an ITF. I'm not going to go play some little podunk tournament somewhere where he's the number one seed, and then the number 2 seed is some guy ranked like 230 in the world. He's gonna just to get to 110. So
right.
So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see, and if he can win, he's got to win 10 more titles. So gosh, I mean that means 2 a year. For 5 years, does he have 5 years left in him where he can actually win a couple of tournaments? I don't know.
I think that the extraordinary thing is that how many titles in the last 3 years, with 4 of them being Grand Slams.
Guys, fun to watch.
Yeah.
And actually I watched a lot of that match with Tsitsipas yesterday. And the one thing that Roger has. Or one of the things that Roger has that's different from everybody else is he's got so many he's got so many different grips, so many places that he can put his hand on the handle, depending on what's coming in. I mean, he played some shots where Tsitsipas hits this nasty to the baseline as Fed's trying to recover, and Fed kind of gets the ball in front of him, but just plays the perfect grip so the racket faces at this angle where now it's just like a real solid backboard. Right. He doesn't have to flip the thing off or do anything crazy or jump. And so I think he's got more grips than anyone else.
Yeah, his ability to square the racket at contact is uncanny. It's just uncanny. Yeah, in any and all situations, it's just phenomenal.
Well, which brings up a point, which is not the topic that I'm going to ask you about today. But I do think that I think that a lot of players out there are getting taught certain stroke technique that it's almost like, well, we're going to work. Let's take the semi-Western forehand. We do pick on this a lot, but this is a good example where guys are being taught, a semi to full Western topspin forehand, which in some situations is the absolute right shot to play. But
Right.
those situations are really far and few between because it requires a certain type of incoming ball. If you are locked into that grip and locked into that windshield wiper, that's your grip and that's your swing shape, and you have to do that on every type of ball that is over on your right. If you're right-handed, you're doing the anti-Fed in terms of different grips. So I just want everyone just to be careful that, and we talked about it last episode, make sure that some pro, maybe it was 2 episodes ago, some pros not trying to shove down what their idea of a player brand should be for you. That just because this guy played D1 college and dabbled a little bit in the tour and eventually came away with going, gee, my full Western doesn't work on every ball that these guys hit to me.
Right.
And decide to start teaching tennis, which is a noble profession. But you got to make sure that something's not being shoved down your throat just because. Right. So, with that little rant over,
yeah.
Here's
what do you got for me?
Here's a statement for today, and boy, this is such a an appealing thing to do with online video and online instruction, and the Tennis Channel, where we've got different announcers, sort of maybe not directly teaching or instructing, but commenting on what just happened, which makes a player, a senior guy, go, well, maybe I should be doing that. And then of course with YouTube, there's just pure craziness out there. But here's the statement. Doing more research is a defense mechanism for not getting started. So as you're looking up going, what the hell does that mean? How am I gonna work with that one?
I get it. I get it.
I mean, I'm thinking of guys mostly at the Berkeley Tennis Club. Maybe not so much down here at the desert, but I'm thinking of a couple of good friends of mine up at the BTC. Right. Who have decided that they're going to work on this thing, and they're going to continue to do research and more and ask questions and ask the gas station attendant, hey, what do you think about, I mean, and to me, it's an excuse for not getting started to get out there and play some matches and see what works and see what doesn't work. So,
right.
I don't know.
Right.
Take it away, Jeffrey.
Well, now we get into knowledge versus wisdom, right? Isn't that's?
Oh my God! I can't believe you said that, because right down here, wisdom. I wrote it down today. Oh, hold on. It's here it is. Here it is. To obtain wisdom, subtract something daily. Right? So
yeah.
Don't go out there and research and add more stuff.
Right.
If you really want to get smart about your game, take something away.
Right.
I'm not allowing you to talk at all, by the way. So
that's all right. That's fine. But that's just but that is the separation between being able to, as we talked about in the last episode, being able to assess a situation and come up with a new answer today, right? That's experience. That's experience, which translates hopefully to wisdom. Coming from a knowledge base, I'm going to try this. I'm going to learn this new pattern, this new strategy. I'm now going to deploy it in this match. And, it worked on Tuesday. It didn't work on Thursday. Okay, so now I go back and I go, Tuesday I played against Joe, who's this type of player, and it worked perfectly. Thursday I played against Sam, and he's this type of player, and it really seemed like I was just hand-feeding him his favorite stuff. Okay, now I have a database of implementing this strategy and knowing, wow, this seems to work great against this type of player, not so much against this type of player. So now when I'm in a tournament and I can see I'm going to play somebody very similar to Sam, I can go, wisdom says, don't use that strategy. Let's use something else in my database that I've used against that type of player to win or at least play close. I'm not exactly sure how to beat that guy yet, but I've played him close now 2 or 3 times using this. So we've got to be able to work through that. And that's when, again, we can circle back again now to dig a little deeper here, is when you play your practice sets, are you willing to lose 6-0 to gain some wisdom? So that the next time you're out there in that match, maybe next time it's 6-3 and I gain a little more wisdom. And the next time in the practice set, now all of a sudden, hey, it's breaker. Maybe I got him 7-5 today because of the things I've learned along the way, implementing actual strategies and sticking with them for a whole set.
Yeah. Well, I think the example you brought up is Tuesday. You play Jim. Was it Jim on Tuesday?
Could have been Jim. Yeah.
Might.
I know Thursday was Sam.
But let's say on Tuesday you go out there and you play Jim, and then Thursday, and you do well, and then Thursday you go out there and you lose against Sam doing the same thing that worked well against. So I think sometimes what happens is Tuesday's good and Thursday wasn't great, and so then we decide, well, I've got to abandon the whole thing, and I've got to go out there and start researching on other ways to do this, as opposed to, wait a minute, okay, Tuesday, for some reason, it worked well against Jim, and it didn't work so well against Sam. But maybe there's just one little thing I need to kind of change against someone like Sam, but sort of deploying kind of. So anyway, I don't know if we hit this topic at all, but I just think that the players get stuck sometimes into this deep research mode,
right?
And not really. God, I mean, I know a guy. In fact, he's anyway. I know another guy at the BTC, and he's a really good player. I mean, he's a top guy. I know he's in your age group. I know you. I know that you know the guy, and I asked him. Recently I said, so I hadn't seen it for a while. Well, what are you working on? And he tells me what he's working on with his game. And then I said, all right, cool. Well, you got some tournaments scheduled to kind of go tinker on it. He goes, well, no, I'm going to keep researching it and kind of developing it and kind of building it and make sure it's right. I really don't want to go out there and see what I've where it's at now, and because I might lose my confidence. And I'm just kind of going, this thing's about to explode, where I want to look at this guy and go, you're already a really good player. You don't, and first of all, you're a really good player, but you're not going to perfect it by doing more research. The best research you could possibly do is not on YouTube, is not with your coach again and again and again, without going out there and putting yourself in line and seeing where it's at. That's where the research ought to be done. Is
on the court, in the trenches,
when it counts.
Testing it out, and that's that right there. It just brings up this point to me that I have to share with my students and remind them all the time. The barometer, whether a strategy was successful or not, we can't use the barometer of whether we won or lost the point as the measuring stick. Because if I'm employing a new strategy, it may be that I constructed it perfectly, and I'm so surprised that I actually gaffed the volley, or I missed the short, angled roller that normally I would make, or whatever. And so I have to be able to assess that honestly and not knee-jerk react, like you said, and just throw out everything because I didn't win the point. And so that's something, the players need to really, again, be honest in their assessment, is like, when you're playing your practice sets, again, the winning of the point isn't always a good barometer as to whether you did something right or not. It's really about, gosh, I really constructed that well. I can see the 3 shots that I patterned really gave him a lot of trouble. And I'm kind of excited right now. I'm kind of overhitting the finish. Okay, take a step back and know that you're building on something now. So now keep doing it, and eventually you will relax when it's time to finish and do that. But I think players are very quick to, like you said, pull the plug on a strategy because they didn't win the point. Yeah. They didn't win the set. And that is when you're working on things, that is the worst assessment tool, is whether you won or lost the set or not. All
right, good. All right, I think we're good here.
All right. Do I sound exhausted?
Yeah, you sound like totally beat up over there, and so I guess anyway. Listen, guys, thanks for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate it. Really hope that you're getting something out of this. And Jeff and I are offering a free 10-minute coaching call. Anyone who wants to bring that one thing in their game right now that they just cannot figure out. Again, it's complimentary, no charge. All you got to do is, if you're not on our email list, go to goldballhunting.com, drop in your first name and email address, and then you'll get over to our online scheduler. Cherry pick a date and time that works best for you, and then we'll do that call. Jeff, I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you to do one more thing, man, because this is the time of the show, when we're going to ask the fine folks to please do one, if not all, of these 4 things.
Like us, share us, subscribe to us, and leave us a comment below.
Outstanding. Guys, get out there, help someone else have an incredible day. Jeff, let's do this again tomorrow.
Okay.